Good to go? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Here. Councilwoman Marcotte? Here. Councilman Dooley?
Here.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Here.
Supervisor Calavita?
Here, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We move on to the opportunity to address the board about a specific agenda item. Anyone? All right, there being none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the May 17th and May 31st meetings. Any proposed amendments or modifications?
None.
No, there being none, someone can make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have reports of departments, boards, and commissions. Law Department report, Mr. Rader.
Yes, good evening. First, I have a resolution authorizing a settlement of a claim by Robert Dowling against the town of Eastchester in the amount of $20,000 for a lawsuit that involved an injury on Main Street on November 18th, 2020. I provided the board with a memo, but briefly, there's an incident where Mr. Dowling was hit by another vehicle. They sued the driver of that vehicle and also the town. While in this case, negligence on our part was kind of questionable, obviously we were in the lawsuit, we defended it, we did depositions, we did discovery. He had a demand of $150,000, obviously we rejected that. As the case proceeded, he lowered his demand, but he did have significant injuries, by the way. He was hit, was in the hospital, had surgery, fractured ribs, torn ACL. Based on my discussion with our counsel, the demand was then reduced. We offered $20,000 as a final settlement, and as I put in the memo, our exposure was probably a couple $100,000 in the event we lost. I'm not saying we would have, but in case we did. But even further, if we had to defend this even further as motion practice, we had to do a summary judgment motion, or to go to trial, it would probably cost us an additional $25,000 to $35,000 at least. So I think based on the fact that even though we might have prevailed at trial, we still were going to spend another $25,000, $35,000 of our own money. So this is really a business decision. I would recommend the board that we settle this matter for $20,000.
All right, so moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye.
Okay, next I have a resolution authorizing a settlement of a certiorari proceeding instituted by Crestwood Owners, Inc., affecting the premises known as Section 65L, Block 1, Lots 4E and 4G, property 500 White Plains Road. The assessment years on both these lots are 2016 through 2021, tax years 2017 through 2022, and the total town tax refund on both these lots is $21,791.33.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye.
And last, I have a resolution authorizing a settlement of a certiorari proceeding instituted by GVK Realty Corp., affecting the premises known as Section 32, Block 7, Lot 20, 90 Lake Avenue. And the assessment years on this property are 2020 and 2021, tax years 2021 and 2022, and the total town tax refund is $235.57.
So moved.
Second. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have correspondence. We have memorandum from the controller on some budget transfers and revisions, and I'll make a motion to approve same and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the controller on part-time seasonal employees, and there's a whole bunch of kids going to work at the recreation camps, and I think we're the #1 employer of kids in the town. So I'm happy to make a motion for all of our young camp counselors and our Lake Isle workers. And ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, I have a memorandum for the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation regarding a wellness and nutrition program, the WIN program, and a nutrition service incentive program, NSIP. for contracts between the town and Westchester County for program service year 2022-2023. And this is basically for our homebound meals, home-delivered meals, and for our nutrition center. And this is for a grant in the amount of $44,658 for the said programs. So I will ask for a motion, please,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the Director of the Eastchester Public Library for permission to go to bid on the elevator machine room and the toilet room reconstruction at the Eastchester Public Library. And if any of you are familiar with the library, the mechanical room next to the the elevator, has had a water issue there for decades, for a long time. And it's gotten to the point now where it needs to get attention. There's also an issue with the wall on the hill that's on Oak Ridge, that's on Crest, not Oak Ridge. And also, the bathroom next to it has been affected, so we're going to just do the whole thing again, correct it all. There'll be a temporary elevator on the northwest corner of the patio that was put in to get people into the building if you're in a wheelchair or if you're disabled. So they're going to cover that for now. We may end up leaving that permanently, but we'll see, how much of an imposition it is on that, reading area we have, open reading area. But anyway, it's a lot of work went into this. Lothrop Associates did a good job with the plan, and the funds have been provided for by a New York State construction grant and the Eastchester Libraries Fund balance. So it should be approximately, I don't want to taint the bid, but, we're anticipating more than a couple $100,000 to do the work. So anyway, that being said, I thank the library board for putting this together. I thank Tracy Wright, the executive director, for working this project. Hopefully the bids go out, they come back with a reasonable number, and we get the work done as soon as possible. So with that being said, I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. There being no miscellaneous business, we have council member reports. Councilman Marcoccia.
Thank you, Supervisor. I just wanted to report with respect to Lake Isle that the pool and tennis opened up Memorial Day weekend. There were spectacular weather days on that Sunday and Monday. The club was full to capacity, and we got a lot of feedback, and everyone was quite pleased and happy to be there. Also, Sport Time had a welcome barbecue, and they welcomed everyone back to the outdoor tennis season, and that also went over very well. Preseason pool hours are 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends through June 24th. Then hours will be 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. That's after June 24th. If you have not yet registered for the season, now is the time. School is almost out and the weather is warming up. The membership office is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekends. Also, poolside dining is back. Gigantes has once again spruced up the look at the adult pool, giving us a warm, tropical, resort-like feel for everyone choosing to have dinner outdoors or to just be lounging poolside. Outdoor dining is available on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. For more information or to make a reservation, please go to www.giganterestaurant.com. And I also wanted to announce that the summer concert series starts Wednesday, June 29th at 8 p.m. on the golf driving range at Lake Isle and continues every Wednesday through August 3rd. One final concert will be held at Garth Road Park on Wednesday, August 10th. Concert times are 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., doors open at 7 p.m. A complete concert schedule is available on Lake Isle's website at www.lakeislecountryclub.com. And finally, I wanted to announce that the next advisory board meeting is on Monday, July 11th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Dooley.
I have no report tonight, Mr. Supervisor.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Eastchester Public Library, they're asking for volunteers. Please consider joining the Friends of Eastchester Public Library. The Friends of Eastchester Public Library is a nonprofit membership organization dedicated to supporting the activities and missions of the Eastchester Public Library. And for more information on how to become a volunteer, please call the library at 914-793-5055. And there's a lot of things happening there at the library this June through August. We have the children's summer reading game. The year theme is Oceans of Possibilities. And they have the teen and adult summer reading center, and they continue to have the yoga class. And there's also a special Laura Osnes with Richard Knox on Wednesday, tomorrow, June 8th at 2 p.m. And a lot of other fun activities. And to learn more, you could go to the Eastchester Public Library website, www.eastchesterlibrary.org, or you could call again 914-793-5055. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. On the recreation front, I just have an announcement for the residents that there are still spots available in the week-long mini camp for the Bronco Hoops basketball camp and the Little Eagles wrestling camp. So if anyone is interested in participating or signing up for that, you can find the information on the website at eastchester.org. I also wanted to mention for the village of Bronxville, they are excited to announce that they have added pickleball courts to their tennis courts. I know that's a very popular and hot item. If anyone is interested in playing, they should purchase a seasonal permit at Village Hall. And I also want to congratulate Vicki and Cy Ford. My colleagues and I joined them in the Memorial Day, the 100th anniversary of the Memorial Day Parade. And Cy and Vicki, of course, were the well-deserving and very gracious Grand Marshals, if you will. So congratulations to them, and of course to Mary Marvin and the entire village on a wonderful day and a great parade. And that concludes my report, Supervisor.
Yeah, I want to second that also. The veterans in our town put together a wonderful program, and it was very moving and well appreciated by everyone who attended. Additionally, I'd like to mention that our town clerk, Linda Laird, has been voted in by her peers as the treasurer for the New York State Town Clerks Association, effective 7/1/22. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Spent a lot of time there. Thank you for all your time you put in there. I'm sure they're all appreciating. It sounds like you missed a meeting and they put you in there. The old joke. But it's very prestigious, and we're very happy that she's doing that, because it's a lot of work. And you'd be surprised how much information and how much work goes through the clerk's office. Anyway, additionally, just a couple of random thoughts. First, with regard to a lot of the flooding going on in town, I want to make sure that residents know that if you receive a canvass from the Highway Department about losses you might have sustained if you're in certain areas that we're trying to get grant funds for, please make sure you do the best you can, exercise your best effort to complete the form with pictures and perhaps an insurance claim or copies of your adjustment check, whatever the case might be, because we need to show FEMA, for example, that we've had a significant loss in our area before we can ask for funds. And sometimes our funds are tempered or requested by how much loss we've sustained. So what we're trying to do is to basically show that, we've had some sections of town that are in need of federal funds or state funds. And though, the obligation of the town, doesn't run to stormwater issues, we're still trying to help out anyway. And we're doing the best we can with a certain couple of areas, like in Crawford and a spot down on Garth Road, which we're spending a lot of time on. But, so if you get the canvas, do the best you can. Some people, a little embarrassed to have their basement or they have all their stuff, piles of stuff, but that helps. That's what we need. And estimates from your insurance company as to what it cost you to replace that or what the damage was, those are important. So if you could, do that, please, we'd appreciate that. We sent one out in one section of town. We sent out about 50, 55. We got back only 8 returns, and a total of maybe $70,000, $75,000 worth of damage. And certainly there was a lot more damage there. People, I think, just didn't have the records, didn't want to be bothered, but it helps. It helps us to try to get some monies. Then I guess I'll cut off at that, and that brings us to the second opportunity to address the board. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Ellen.
Good evening, Ellen Del Cole. I'm representing the TPAC, Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee. Teresa Nicholson is assigned to us as our board liaison. and she, like the others, has been a tremendous help. We've had some issues that seem to be coming up regularly, and again, I'm going to mention scooters. It's a simple thing, but wearing a helmet is important. And it wasn't until I looked up the actual numbers. And the Journal of the American Medical Association for Surgery says that injuries since about 2014 are up 70%. And most scooter accidents involve head injuries and broken bones. So it's not just the adults, but we love our kids. So if you bought somebody a scooter, spend the extra $30, $40, $50 and get a helmet and encourage it to be worn. It's not worth it in the long run. The other thing that we're hearing about, and I have to look it up because unfortunately I'm not good at remembering all of these abbreviations, but we have had people complaining about exhaust systems on vehicles, and there's something called the sleep law. And it doesn't mean that you're awakened early in the morning and can't get back to it. The governor's office, the end of last year, put in a law that increased the penalty from about $150 or $250 to $1,000 for a vehicle owner. That's significant money. The SLEEP stands for Stop Loud and Excessive Exhaust Pollution. It was one of the few times that groups that can sometimes be polar opposites came together, because it's not just noise, which is a quality of life issue, but it's the pollutants that go into the air that are unnecessarily displaced. It's illegally modified mufflers on all vehicles, not just motorcycles. For garages that willfully violate it, the governor's words, not mine, within three times within 18 months, they'll lose their inspection and/or operating certification. Now, it's not like every police car is going to be able to have a noise meter or a sound meter, but if you know that your truck, your motorcycle, if you really think it's a wonderful thing when you start it up and you can hear and feel that engine, many times your neighbor won't approach you to tell you that it's really aggravating. But some of the complaints that we've gotten have been kind of interesting. One person was in Tuckahoe. They actually moved because their neighbor was rather defensive of his truck and said, you know, that's your problem. And he couldn't find a solution, so he left. He moved to another street within Tuckahoe, so we didn't lose him altogether. But it could be a senior citizen. It could be someone with young children. And frankly, people don't have to know when their neighbors come and go. If we can all come and go quietly, not always perfect, but it's better than annoying people. And no one wants to call the police department. They have better things to do. But if it's really annoying, think about it. Not just from a noise perspective, but all of us care about what we're doing to the environment. It's not getting better on its own. And that is pretty much what I have, except to also thank the police department and the board for giving the TPAC the world's best of the police department in terms of liaisons. I've been on it for Lieutenant Bobby Jensen, Lieutenant Jeff Hunter, Lieutenant George Barletta, Lieutenant Richie Rosenberg, Justin Bernstein, and now hopefully it will be Lieutenant Lisa Graff. These have been such incredible, caring people to work with. And we're just very fortunate. I can't think of any better people suited to do this job, because it is annoying and thankless. And you make two people happy here and one person annoyed over here, but you already know that because you're the town board. So, but these people have been gracious and hardworking. And I'm just incredibly pleased. And I hope that they're hearing this and they accept my thanks.
Well, thank you for your chairmanship. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you.
My name is Janet Murphy. I live at 18 Whitehall Road, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors at Interlaken Gardens. And I thank you for the opportunity to address the board. And I have come here to raise I have a few questions and comments regarding the newly constructed sidewalk on California Road from Whitehall Road to the private home at 1353 California Road. The land on which 740 feet of sidewalk was constructed is on land owned by Interlaken Gardens, 525 families. And no one was informed about this project in advance. No one on the board, our board, no one individual resident, or the property manager. So there was no advanced warning of this project. Interlaken has never received a complaint about the unpaved surfaces. So you would think we would get that complaint because we own that property. I would like to know where the request for the sidewalk came from. We did review board, planning board, zoning board, town board, minutes and agenda. I spoke with Mr. Lurita. We reached out to TPAC, and they never received any indication about this complaint either. So is there any way
Yeah, I can address that.
this request?
For years and years, for decades, people have been asking for a sidewalk on California Road. Many people from Interlaken, though they may not want to disclose that,
Okay.
many people from Channing Place, from Tally, and from Memorial Park Civic Association have asked because it is extremely dangerous to walk on California Road in between Whitehall and, I'll say, Nixon Lane, for lack of a better expression. As you know, it's very, very heavily trafficked. People go there all day long, and we actually had a person got hit by a car. She broke her elbow because a car was driving by, and the side view mirror clipped her arm because she was forced to walk in the street. That's just one example of the lack of safety there. So throughout all these years, we generally, that's a big expense to put that sidewalk in. So if we can, we kind of push it off a little bit. But this year, we had a couple extra bucks, and we were committed to doing something for the safety of the pedestrians in that area. And as you're probably also aware, a lot of people now are getting cars, more cars, and they're parking further down California Road, going toward, White Plains Road on the, say, the east side of the street. Also, the sidewalk was installed on town property, not Interlaken property, and at the town expense. And it was just there simply for safety. And I did speak with Joan Mijos. I spoke with Gary. The project had started, but normally on sidewalks, we generally don't reach out to everybody and ring their doorbells. Most of the sidewalk money we spend is to repair broken sidewalk, and then also to install new sidewalk where people have asked for it. So it was only natural to continue that. Obviously, Interlaken had no problem when we did sidewalks around the entire perimeter of their property. That was okay.
But that was a long time ago.
But still,
Yeah.
we maintained it. We installed new there, up on the top by the school. But notwithstanding all of that, it had to be made safe. It was just not a safe situation there. Also, I might also add, just anecdotally, that while Rocco and Richie from the highway yard were there, people actually pulled their cars over and said, "It's about time." Finally, what took you so long was that type of response. And even today, I drove by with Mr. Latella to examine what was going on there. and there were like 6 people on there, or 5. And it hadn't even been completed yet, because they were still doing the grading there. But, you know, it was necessary. It was something that, you know, people had requested for a long, long time, and we're able
Were
to
you able
accommodate
to
them.
quantify as to how many?
All of us over
You
the
know,
years have been,
it's-
all of us have received complaints from people. You know, what happens is, people want their kids to walk to Lake Isle safely. They want their kids to be able to go up to the pool, they want to go to Starbucks, they want to go hang out, you know, in the parking lot at Lord and Taylor, which they shouldn't be doing, but, and people exercise, they recreate, they walk up and down, and it's a busy, busy street, and we have to be safe, we got to be careful.
The other issue is this section has less traffic than the section of California Road from Mill to Highland. That's a very heavily trafficked area also, because you have Twin Lakes, and you also have the stables, and you have private homes. Now, are they considering that area also? Because if you have complaints in one area and there's more traffic along, not having done the study, and there's more traffic on foot traffic on the opposite side of California Road, do I want to say southern side, if you want to call it that, then you could then start doing sidewalk projects over that section also. Am I right?
We could, but the draw is not, that there's no shopping center down there. There's no Lake Isle Country Club down there. There's no
There's Twin
cemetery.
Lakes and
Yeah, but,
you
you know,
do
people
have
don't.
recreation. There's a
People
lot of
don't, but
recreation
they
there.
don't swim in the lake, they don't boat in the lake. I mean, look, there's the horse stable up there, but that's way up the hill.
Okay.
But again,
They have trails that,
yeah, they have walking trails, but the walking trails come out to Mill Road by California, you know, by Tally, Townhouse at Lake Isle. But the draw, what makes people walk on there is Lake Isle, is the shopping center, I'm not sure if the kids are going to school there because it's a circuitous route to get there, but, you know, there's a lot of people use that road. I guarantee there's people on there right now.
Yeah, okay, all right. Could you tell me, is that the criteria for determining when you put a sidewalk in?
The
Traffic?
criteria is need.
Is need?
Is safety and need. And there's no burden to Interlaken. Interlaken, you know, what's it going to cost them? Another half a tank, 1 tank of gas for a leaf blower and a snow blower? It's not
There's
it's
a
not
little
burden.
more than that, and the thing that is more of an issue would be liability.
But we're removing the liability.
That liability. You're not removing the
If you're putting a sidewalk in, you're making it safer for people to walk. And if they're going to traverse onto the roots and rocks, they're going to fall and break ankles.
And then we have to maintain that, correct?
Yes, it's your obligation to maintain it.
And if we don't, the liability is there for,
Well, that's if you don't maintain it, but you maintain all the sidewalks
Okay,
there.
all right.
And it's just a snow blower and a leaf blower. There's not much more you have to do there.
there might be. So that access for the country club and the town, the shopping
Center.
centers, so that would not preclude sidewalks on Wilton, Lakeshore Drive, and so the possibility exists there too.
I guess so, but
Okay.
there's
So,
not
but no
the volume
complaints there.
of traffic on California Road. Lake Isle or Lakeshore Drive or Wilton, they don't experience that kind of volume there. And as you're well aware, people fly down California Road. Though we have our traffic car posted there, though we have all kinds of, you know, stops being made there, that is one long, flat road that people just fly down, and a lot of people walk on that roadway.
All right. I think that to say that the burden would be just a few leaf blowers and the plows, it's 740 feet. That's a considerable
Stretch.
this stretch of sidewalk. So in addition to that, as I said, it's the increased insurance liability from that point of view.
Yeah, but with all due respect, you have the same liability whether there's a sidewalk there or not. If you own it, you insure it. And whether you put a
Well-
sidewalk on it or not, you still have the same liability.
You said it was your property that the
Right.
sidewalk is on, so it would have been yours.
No,
'Cause it's
it
a
is our,
street.
it is our responsibility. It is,
So it
it
was
is,
the street.
let's be clear, it's our liability,
Okay.
because we own that sidewalk,
Right.
okay? But it's your obligation to maintain it. And so if somebody falls there, right, falls, breaks an ankle, God forbid, or something, then you'll be named and we'll be named, we're the primary there. But as importantly, though, if the sidewalk wasn't there, you have a greater risk of someone falling and getting hurt or getting clipped in the street, which has happened there. This is all about safety. And this also was not erected in front of anybody's home. There are no apartment buildings there. It's just a sidewalk to get people safely from one point to the other, which was requested.
The possibility of it being continued to, say, the Nixon cut exists or
Yes.
doesn't?
Yes, it exists, of course.
Okay,
If the
so-
board feels that we should go up a little further and connect, say, to White Plains Road, so that people can use the crosswalk to get across, that may occur, but right now, we're just stopping there, just financially, we're
there,
stopping.
But it's a sidewalk to nowhere. It just ends, and then you have 3 homes and the water company without a sidewalk.
Well,
So,
the neighbors there, I spoke to the neighbors there, 2 of them,
Yeah, I know.
and they didn't want to have the sidewalk continue because they wanted to, one of them selling their house, the other one felt strongly that they didn't want to have a sidewalk. I said, well, that's up in the air right now, but right now, we agreed to stop it. There was also some issue regarding, like everyone was rumoring falsely that we're going to connect to Water Street, there's going to be a road that goes, that's all false. And we're going to flip the parking, that's all false. All of that's all false. All we did simply was at the request of dozens of people over the years, put a safe sidewalk in so people wouldn't get hurt. That's all that happened there.
so there's no safety issue from the homes to the Nixon cut? That's okay?
No, I think there is. But these folks that were there wanted us to stop right there. They said, please, don't do that. I think you're related to one, if I'm not mistaken. Aren't you related?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, to the Paganus.
Yeah,
They're very nice people.
Josepha spoke
Yeah,
with you.
and she, very nice gal. We spoke and she said, listen, we're concerned about you. Their concern was primarily that there was going to be a break into Water Street and that cars would come down or there would be a lot of pedestrian traffic, which again, we can't control that. And she was talking about people cut through the back of their folks' property and that, that was troublesome for them. And I said, okay, well, I said maybe a pathway would stop that. But she said, no, they're going to cut through anyway. So I said, okay, if you want, we'll respect your wishes. But I said, it's, at some point, we have to consider that. So we'll see.
Okay. Because it seems that, well, the discussion was to the homeowners, but not to 525 families. A courtesy call would have been nice.
Okay.
Would have been appropriate.
You're probably right. However,
It would have been,
just remember one thing. Like, this is not brain surgery. We're just putting in
No,
sidewalks here.
I
Like, we don't
understand
ring
that, but
everybody's
there's a
bell
lot
and,
of-
communicate every
It's
little
brain
thing we're
surgery
doing.
to somebody.
But
believe me.
you know what I'm saying.
Okay, all right, no, I know. Thank you. Thank you for letting me address the board.
Thank you very much, Ms. Murphy. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name's Bill Folan. I'm on the board as well for Interlaken. I just have a couple of questions. We're just concerned that when they constructed the sidewalk, there's going to be trees and, I don't know, runoff, mud, and it's going to run right onto the sidewalks, and there's going to be ice and flooding, and I don't know whether we're going to have to put up a fence to prevent any of that trees or bushes or whatever from...
Well, they did, when they finished the job, they always grade the sidewalk out. Like, today was their job, today, that's why I was there. They, from the edges of the sidewalk, not the curb, obviously, on the street side, but the other side, they grade it all out. And so, they don't leave anything hanging or it's cleared, so to speak. As far as they can go, they clear it out. And then, grass grows on it, and that's the end of it.
Okay. I would just have, if you stand on the corner of Whitehall,
Yes.
there's no sidewalk from the corner to where the new sidewalk starts. So they're still going to have to walk in the street until they get to the sidewalk.
Wait, say it again, Bill, I'm sorry. You mean, if you're walking on California Road and you cross over Whitehall? You mean, I understand what you mean. In other words, you're saying coming down Whitehall?
Yeah, if you come
Oh.
down Whitehall and you're stopped,
Yeah,
right?
there's sidewalk on one side of Whitehall.
Corner on the left side
Right,
that goes towards Lake Isle.
yes.
There's no sidewalk. So people would still have to walk in the street to get onto your sidewalk. So why wasn't there, why didn't it start at Whitehall and go all the way down to the houses?
It did. It did start on Whitehall.
No.
Yeah, there's a sidewalk right there on the corner there. There's contiguous sidewalk on California Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no sidewalk on one side of Whitehall coming down the hill. Maybe that's what you're referring to. But there is sidewalk on the opposite side, on the south side. South side. There's sidewalk going down Whitehall to the corner of California. Then if you cross Whitehall to the other side, that's when the sidewalk picks up on California. But there is no sidewalk on the north side of Whitehall coming down, because you already have one already, and there's a crosswalk there. So people can go across the street safely.
Okay. So you guys are going to grade the land?
Yes. Yeah.
So that water doesn't come rushing down?
Well, water went down there anyway, but the sidewalk hopefully will block some of that.
If you're cutting bushes or trees down,
Getting that junk out of there, yeah, the scrub.
Holding the water back
But
from...
if you know the roadway there, and I've walked it many, many times, the curb is raised on the I'm going to say the opposite, on the other side of the curb, not the road side, the other side. A lot of it was all ruddy and rooted and lower grade than the sidewalk. So there really wasn't much there that was going to come over the sidewalk. I don't envision that happening.
Okay. Now,
We'll see. We can always adjust it,
when you get to the water company, is that town land as well as for sidewalks? I mean,
Well, the town has a right of way.
right.
In most of the town, there's very little, usually only in the commercial districts, like in the retail business districts and the parking areas, the large areas, do we have no right of way, like the property lines are right on a curb.
Right.
But in the vast majority of the town, we own like 6, 8, sometimes 10 feet in. That's our right of way. And we have a town law that was passed, in the 80s, I think, that said you have to maintain your property out to the curb. Even though it's town right of way, you have to maintain it. And that was the issue that Mrs. Murphy
Come
spoke
to
of.
the conclusion that a sidewalk is needed, it could run all the way down to White Plains Road. I mean,
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though houses say they don't want it, and you decide it's needed,
Well, we actually, the original plan was only to go to the telephone pole. It wasn't to go in front of their homes. Then they were objecting. They said, oh, we don't want to have a sidewalk here, which I don't know why they would not. The argument that was given to me, I didn't think carried great weight, but, we're trying to respect what they like to do. But the bigger beef was going up Water Street. That was the bigger concern. And that we're not doing that.
okay,
All right.
thank you
Thank you,
very
Bill.
much.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
How you doing? Joseph Santa Maria, 58 Stewart Place. I'm the vice president of Memorial Park Association, which is located on White Plains Road and California Road. I got two things I wanted to discuss tonight. One is about the sidewalks, and two, you mentioned about the elevator in the library. Water was coming in the elevator, so is the elevator need to be replaced, or you don't know?
Well, yeah, once they get in there, I think they're going to end up replacing the mechanics of it. And I don't know if, it's a small elevator, so they got to make sure that, what they go out for bid to replace it with fits. If it doesn't fit, you have to change it around a little bit. There's also a mechanical room next to the elevator that, has some apparatus for the elevator, but also like the utilities for the building are in that corner also. So while that's out of commission, we're going to put a ramp in the lot, in the outdoor reading area in the corner of the property, so people can get in the building that are disabled. So hopefully it works. We may keep that in the end. We'll see what happens. But the elevator was in bad shape and needed to be replaced. Because there was a breach in the water, in the wall that was causing water to go into the library, into that area. And for years, there was an accumulation of water in the bottom of the elevator well. And it just never rose to the point where it had to be, couldn't get bailed out by Jason over there or Harry. So right now, though, it's just not functioning, and it's got to be cleaned. But the wall has to be repaired, too. This is not, it's not a small job.
The second thing about the sidewalks, just to let you know, the sidewalk from Whitehall, there was an existing sidewalk that went maybe 20 feet from the corner of Whitehall, and then it stopped. The new sidewalk picked up from that point to the 700 and whatever feet that the woman just mentioned.
Right.
I walk that area all the time. I walk with my wife, I walk with my daughter. It's funny because now more people are walking. The school changed the walking time for around the track now. You're only allowed to walk an hour and 15 minutes at night from 6:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's it. They close the gates. So what people are doing now, they're walking from the entrance of the school parking lot when you go vote at the school. They're walking down Manchester, all the way around, up California Road where the new sidewalks are, up to Nixon Lane or Cemetery Lane, back up Stewart, back to the school parking area. Because they can't walk the track at night, a group of people are doing that walk. So talk about the sidewalks coming at the right time. And also new sidewalks were put in last year by the school gate. That was a long time coming. If you looked at the school gate, there was never a sidewalk there. The kids would come home from school, not everybody took the bus, and they'd be walking on mud and whatever. And if you look at the sidewalks by the school gate, they did a hell of a job there. And if you walk on California Road, the Interlaken Society put a gate across their property where it ends that joins with Water Street. People used to cut through the woods to go to Water Street to go walk to avoid California Road. Now there's a gate there, so you can't even cut through. Now they have to walk on those new sidewalks. So there's a lot of things that have been happening. Houses on Water Street there, a lot of houses are being rebuilt, done up. That street's coming out real good regarding new homes being renovated. But I walked along the new sidewalks. If you looked on the property, if it's owned by Interlaken, I found VCRs, old furniture, patio furniture, pipes, bricks. People were throwing debris all along that strip of where the new sidewalks were. All that now is cleaned up. I went by there, it's all cleaned up, all because of the sidewalks. And that's been there for a while. I mean, people don't realize it because you just never saw it unless you walked it. And safety is the most concern of this, more than anything. I understand about liability and all. I saw a woman walking, I'm walking toward Lake Al on the new sidewalk. A lady's walking toward me with a kid in the carriage and her young daughter. I mean, so picture them walking in the street. At nighttime, not everybody wears reflectors, so you talked about women getting clipped in the elbow with a mirror. Somebody could be texting and driving, last minute look up. If they don't see these people, it's over. So the sidewalks are huge. Yes, I understand the houses from where the sidewalk just ended to United Water, that's all grass area, but they could walk onto that grass area in a safe manner rather than walking in the street. And again, this is only benefiting the town. I know, I've been around Memorial Park, I'm always picking up garbage doing this, and I see there's a lot of activity there, more than you realize. People working during the day, so you don't see it. If you just look around and you drive by, you'll see how many more people are walking up and down that strip. So, to me, like they did the sidewalks at the high school, by the school gate, and this on California Road, it's made a big difference. And I want to congratulate Rocco and his guys, because they're always cleaning those areas up.
Yeah.
You just don't see it. You don't see it because you drive right by. But if you stopped or you walked, there was a lot of garbage.
Garbage is an issue, I gotta tell you, and I'm not talking about the California roadside, but generally speaking, you're having a little epidemic here. I mean, a lot of these, like, a lot of the ball fields, I don't know who's hanging out there at night. They're leaving, little vodka bottles, beer bottles and stuff. Some of them are getting broken. The pile of masks everywhere you go. I wish people would take the time to just pick up their refuse and put it in a can. Every single park has like 5 garbage cans, a recycling can, a regular can, all kinds of cans. It doesn't take anything, just pick up your stuff and put it away, because parks guys come twice a week to get the cans out. But I don't know if it's like an act of vandalism, like Cooper Field had a problem, Leawood Park had a problem. I don't know, it's happening late at night, and people are just being disrespectful. It doesn't take, you want to go have a drink, have a beer, take your can, put it in a recycling container. Even though you're not supposed to do that, at least put it in a recycling container, and don't leave it in the, 2 or 3 of them in the fence at the Little League field, or at the backstop. So, hopefully people will start to get that. I think the little rebellion going on a little bit now with everybody post-COVID, but people really need to do the right thing, because we all live here. Nobody wants to see anybody else's garbage or their dirty diaper or their, used mask or whatever. So
And also,
spread the good
with
word.
the new sidewalks, I know from by the school gate, when you get rain and heavy rain, now that water's going right to the nearest sewer. And you got a couple of sewers on California Road there. Before it would go wherever it went. Now with the new sidewalks and the curbs, like the rain we had last Thursday, you'll see, it just goes right to the sewer, which never happened before. And the
Hopefully.
last thing I want to say is, I just sent an email to United Water. They've been very cooperative with Memorial Park. They have the AC ductwork on the rooftops and the pipes. If you're coming out of Lake Isle Estates, you'll see some pipes, and then you'll see the ductwork. So they've been putting fake bushes around all the ductwork so the building doesn't look commercial. And it's been 2 years now since COVID's over. I just sent them an email. They're gonna replace it and put all new bushes. Again, just so the building doesn't look commercial. And they've been real good with that. So that's the next thing they're gonna do. And I sent them that email, so they're
good.
working on
I'm
that.
glad they're cooperating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they got an open permit now down in Leawood, so maybe that's why. Get them while they're hot,
Yep, no problem.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Santamaria.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. There being no one else, someone can make a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all.